Today we are going to start our next chapter of paradigm of programming languages, that is data type. We will cover these points in this chapter, that is introduction, primitive data types, character string types, user defined ordinal types, array types, associative arrays, record types, and union types, pointer and reference types. So we will move ahead. What is data type? So a data type defines a collection of data objects and a set of predefined operations on those objects, right? So data type, it is a class of data objects together with a set of operations for creating and manipulating them. So data type specify the compiler what type of data can be held by the object. Okay, so they are used to declare different objects like variable, constants, etc. So some early high-level languages provide a small built-in and non-extensible set of types. So whereas some languages like Fortran, which is old one, does not require variable to be declared. So it incorporates default rule to determine the type of undefined variable based on the spelling of their names. Okay, so that is a data type. And a descriptor, what is descriptor? It is a collection of attributes of a variable, and an object represents an instance of user defined type, which is abstract data type. So there is issue also of data type, that what operations are defined and how they are specified, that we have to know. Okay. So primitive data type. Almost all programming languages provide a set of primitive data types. Means it is predefined one. So those not defined in terms of other data types, they are primitive data types, not a combination. They are original one. So some primitive data types are merely reflections of the hardware. So other require only a little non-hardware support for their implementation. So the data type that are not defined in terms of other types, they are all are primitive data types. So the primitive data types of a language are used along with one or more type constructor to provide the structure type. For example, you can say integer is there, floating point is there, double, complex. Okay, these are the Boolean, these are the primitive data types. So almost always an exact reflection of the hardware. So the mapping is trivial for those. So there may be as many as 8 different integer types in a language. For example, in Java, there are assigned integer sizes. Byte is there, short is there, integer is there, long is there. So these are having different sizes. Okay. Then we are going to see floating point. Model real numbers but only as the approximations. So language for specific use support at least 2 floating point types, that is float and the double. Only size matter over here. Suppose float is having 4 bytes, the double is having 8 bytes. Okay, so usually exactly like the hardware but not always. So you can see the diagram. In diagram A, there is a exponent part having 8 bits and the fraction part 23 bits. And for double, the exponent part is 11 byte and fraction part is 52 bytes. So there are some basic problems relevant to your floating point also. because floating point numbers are stored in binary. So the problem may occur, for example, even the value of zero point 0.1 on decimal cannot be represented by the finite number binary digit, as it is an infinite one. So problem with floating point type is that loss of accuracy through arithmetic operation. There may be a loss. Then next we are going to see complex data type. So some languages support a complex type. Okay, these are the languages: C99, Fortran, and Python. So each value consists of two floats, that is a real part and the imaginary part. You know the concept of complex, right? So for complex number, there is a real part and the imaginary part. So for example, in Python, 7 plus 3j. So 7, it is a real part, and 3, it is the imaginary part. Imaginary part, why? Because the value of 3j is depend upon the j value of j. Okay. So the complex data type, it is a composite of other existing data type. For example, you might create a complex data type whose components include built-in types, distinct types, and other complex type. So the important advantage that the complex data type have over user-defined types is that users can access and manipulate the individual components of the complex data type. Next one is decimal. So for business application, okay, it is used essential in COBOL language. Then C# also offers the decimal data type. It stores a fixed number of decimal digits in coded form, that is in BCD format. So advantages of decimal, it is what? The accuracy. Disadvantages is limited range and wastage of memory. Okay, so most of the computers support these decimal data types, and decimal data types store a fixed number of decimal digits with the decimal point at a fixed position in the value. So decimal types have the advantage of being capable of precisely storing the decimal values, at least those within the restricted range. So decimal types are stored same as that of the character strings with the binary code for the decimal digit. So it is representation is in BCD format, that is binary coded decimal. Then Boolean, it is simplest one, and range of values, only two values are there, true and false. So could be implemented as bits and but often as a byte. So advantage, it is a readability. Okay, so Boolean types are simplest as compared to all the languages, all the data types. So they can store only two values, 1 or 0, that is true or false. So in many languages it is used. They are introduced in Algol 60 also. And in C it is not used. Okay, so we used a flag over there. Okay, we set a flag. If flag is a 0, means it is a false one. If flag is a 1, means it is a true one. Okay, so this is concept of Boolean. Then character. Character are stored in numeric coding. Okay, so the most commonly used coding is ASCII, and nowadays Unicode is used. Okay, so which includes character from most natural languages, and they are originally used in Java. C# and JavaScript also support Unicode. 32-bit Unicode also supported by the Photon starting with 2003. So this is your format of character. Then character string types, that is values. It is nothing but a sequence of characters, character string. Some of the languages does not support this type. But these are very useful because output of all kind of data are often done in terms of strings. So there are some design issues also. Two most important design issues are there, uh, specific to your character string type, that are: the string should be simply a special kind of character array or a primitive type, and it should be, the strings have static or dynamic length. Okay, so these are the design issues. Then character string types operations, there are some operations that we can perform with the character string, that is assignment and copying, comparison, concatenation, substring reference, then pattern matching. Some languages are having directly the functions relevant to these operations. Okay, so character string type in certain languages, in C and C++, not primitive. So for that we have to use the char arrays and a library of functions that provide the operations. Okay, then Snowball 4, it is a primitive one, and many operations including elaborate pattern matching also there. In Fortran and Python, primitive type with assignment and several operations are provided. In Java, primitive via the string class. In Perl, JavaScript, Ruby, and PHP, they provide built-in pattern matching using regular expression. So various languages used either primitive one or non-primitive one. Then character string length option. So for static, COBOL and Java string class we used limited dynamic length in C and C++. In these languages, a special character it is used to indicate the end of the string's character rather than maintaining the length. Okay, so the dynamic, Snowball 4, Perl, JavaScript, then add supports all three strings length options. In character string type evaluation, aid to writability. Then as a primitive type with static length, they are inexpensive to provide. Dynamic length, it is nice, but it is worth the expenses. Character string implementation, static length is there. Compile time descriptor, limited dynamic length, may need a runtime descriptor for length. So dynamic length need runtime descriptor, and allocation and deallocation is the biggest implementation problem. So this is relevant to your character string implementation. So sometimes character string types are not directly supported by the hardware. So in such cases, software is used to implement the string storage, retrieval, the manipulation. Okay, so a descriptor for a static character string type, which is only required during the compilation, has three fields: static string, length, and the addresses. And the limited dynamic streams require the runtime descriptor to store both the fixed maximum length and the current length. That is limited dynamic string, maximum length, current length, and the address. So for example, over here you can see this is a compile time descriptor for the static string, and the other diagram shows the runtime descriptor for the limited dynamic string.